What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Ticker Feed video, and welcome to the Ticker Feed family. So today what we're going to be talking about is ticker symbol GEVO or GEVO. And so first what we're going to talk about is the company itself, just a quick little summary for those who haven't bought into the stock or doesn't know anything about it. And then what we'll do after that is we'll talk about the reports for the fourth quarter 2020 financial results, a chart analysis, and then we'll finish the video off with the price prediction. Guys, I really do appreciate you taking the time to listen to this video, so let's go ahead and get started. So for those learning for the first time about GEVO, here's a quick summary. So GEVO's mission is to transform renewable energy and carbon into energy-dense liquid hydrocarbons. So these liquid hydrocarbons can be used for drop-in transportation fuels such as gasoline, jet fuel, and diesel fuel, that when burned have potential to yield net zero greenhouse gas emissions when measured across the full life cycle of the product. GEVO uses low carbon renewable resource-based carbohydrates as raw materials and is in an advanced state of developing renewable electricity and renewable natural gas for use in production processes, resulting in low carbon fuels with substantially reduced carbon intensity. Now, GEVO's products perform as well or better than traditional fossil-based fuels in infrastructure and engines, but with substantially reduced greenhouse gas emissions. So that's what this company is all about. So they're going to use plastics such as polyester. It just depends on the product, right? And so they have patent technology which allows them to be able to create this low carbon greenhouse effect. So that's a quick little summary just for those that am learning about this company for the first time. So now let's go ahead and get started into the reports for Q4. Okay, so for the 2020 fourth quarter financial highlights. First, ended the quarter with cash and cash equivalents of $78.3 million. Revenue totaled $0.5 million for the quarter compared to $6.9 million in Q4 2019. So clearly that's a major difference. Now you've got hydrocarbon revenue totaled at $0.4 million for the quarter compared to $1 million in Q4 2019. Loss from operations of $7 million for the quarter compared to $6.2 million in Q4 2019. Now, you've got the non-GAAP cash loss of $5.1 million for the quarter compared to $4 million in Q4 2019. Net loss per share is 15 cents based on 120 million weighted average shares outstanding for the quarter compared to 0.50 based on 13,659,944 weighted average shares outstanding for Q4 2019. Last, you've got the non-GAAP adjusted net loss per share, which is 0.7 cents based on 120 million weighted average shares outstanding for the quarter compared to 50 cents based on 13.6 weighted average shares outstanding for the quarter of Q4 2019. So now what we're going to do is break down as to why these numbers are what they are. But I really like this because they kind of give you highlights, so these quick bulletins to give you exactly the numbers that you want to know. But let's kind of dive in a little bit deeper. I mean, again, this is Q4 2019. We know what happened in 2020, but let's see what they have to say. So after reading this, to me it makes sense, but this is what they have to say for the Q4 2020 results. So revenue derived at our production facility located in Minnesota related to ethanol sales and related products was nil compared to $5.9 million for the fourth quarter of 2020. As a result of what happened last year in response to the unfavorable commodity environment, GEVO terminated its production of ethanol and distiller grains at the Louisville facility in March 2020. Now, this facility is currently shut down until further notice. Okay, so that's the first thing that you got to think about. Now, currently, the Southampton facility is not producing renewable premium gasoline or jet fuel. Okay, so that's number two. So, okay, I'm kind of getting an idea. Now, GEVO expects to produce isobutanol in intermittent campaign during 2021 to supply the demonstration plant at the Southampton Resources, which is going to be in Silsbee, Texas, so that the renewable premium gasoline or jet fuel can be produced in 2021. Clearly, if you're thinking of jet fuel or just gasoline in general, I mean, the planes are starting to fly. maybe jets are starting to fly, but this is a slow process. And here recently, we just had this correction on top of that. So, I mean, we're getting hit on all sides. So, I mean, it's understandable. Now, they say during the 3 months ended December 31st, 2020, hydrocarbon revenue was $0.4 million compared to $1 million in the same period in 2019. Also, keep in mind, when they're trying to transport these products as well, if the demand's not there, or if they're having trouble extracting it, if they're having times where they need to, they need more time, or they had to cut back on workers or employees. I mean, there's a lot of scenarios that can take place for the company to slow down and not make as much revenue. So just keep that in mind. Now it says the gross loss was $1.4 million for the 3 months ended December 31st, 2020 versus $2.5 million gross loss in the same period in 2019. Now also in 2019, things were rolling. I mean, I don't know what company or industry you're working in, but most companies it was clearly doing really well. And another way to see that is, for example, if you remember, especially in 2019, there was a lot of construction going on. A lot of times that's one indicator in the market how you know things are going well. Same thing with, how much is trash, waste, restaurants, stuff like that. All these little tiny, indicators, key point indicators are being brought up in the market that will kind of demonstrate, how well the overall market's doing. So keep those little things in mind and see if you notice that when things are going well and when things aren't. But basically, what they're trying to demonstrate is just what we iterated on those highlights. And so I wanted to kind of let you know what's going on and what the latest update is. But now that is what it is. Let's go ahead and check out the chart analysis, and then I'll do a price prediction. Okay, so before we look at the chart, what I want to kind of explain for somebody that's just trying to learn about the candlestick charts is just a few things. So first, with the body itself, it indicates the open to close range. Now the wicks, also called tails or shadows, some people will say are the long thin lines above and below that main body, right? So it reveals the intraday high and low. Now the color, most people know, a green, price increase, red, the body indicates a price decrease. Now the body shows the opening price and closing price, right? So a long body indicates heavy trading and strong selling or buying pressure, while a small body indicates lighter trading in one direction and little selling or buying activity, right? So I want you to keep that in mind. That way you can kind of get an idea of what you're looking at. So next, once you're looking at the stock itself, so you can see it closed at $10.06, which is great. All right, so it opened at $10.05, right, with a low of $9.76. So it's in the green. Why? Because when you're looking at the body and the wick itself, it closed higher than what it opened up at. And so that's why it's going to be in the green. Now, what you're also looking at is going to be the resistance and the support. So you can also look at the volume trade. And so volume trade, no matter what, is going to be catered towards buys and sells, period. It's not just one or the other. It's both. And that's the volume trading itself. And so when you're looking at this, for me, I can see that it's slowly getting more support and trying to break that resistance. And so maybe here recently or here soon, we'll start to see a new resistance line and a new support line. And so I just wanted to bring that up just to help people out, and hopefully this added new information for you, and hopefully this will be able to help kind of explain some of your decision making on this information. So when I'm looking at the price with $10.06, I mean, we're still having a correction, and so a lot of the companies are still in the red. And so with that being said, in my mind, especially, looking at this chart itself, I'm thinking here in the next 2 months, maybe even 3, we'll have a consistency where we're going to, I think, a price prediction of the low 11s. And so maybe in the 1150s, but I'm hoping it's going to be a lot sooner. but we'll just kind of have to see. I mean, we did just have that stimulus, so that we got a little spike from that, but we're kind of leveling out now. So we'll kind of see what news continues to bring and what GEVO news continues to bring, and then we'll be able to again just make a new prediction. So as always, guys, I really do appreciate you taking the time to listen to this video, and as always, welcome to the Ticker Feed family.